Okay, today guys I'm going to show you how you can get 3.0 firmware and how to jailbreak it on, I think, basically every device. Uh, if you go ahead and look in the video description, you'll see two downloads. One is for Red Snow, and it's for Mac or Windows, so download it for what operating system you have. And then you'll see those are copies of the 3.0 firmware. Just download it according to which device you have. I will put the iPhone firmwares in there, but I do not have an iPhone. I don't really know a whole lot about them, so you might want to watch someone else's video just to do a check, basically. But anyways, you want to download those two things. And also one thing, sometimes whenever you download the Apple firmware, it'll download as a .zip file, .zip. And what you can do, you can hit rename and change it to .ipsw right here. You want that to be .ipsw. And well, yeah, just leave it at that. Okay, so once you have your firmware downloaded, you want to go plug your iPod in and open up iTunes. And this will erase all data on your iPod, so you might want to hit sync, and that'll sync all your applications to your iTunes. If you've used Installous to get cracked apps, you can go into Installous, go to settings, and turn on iTunes sync, and those will also sync there. But watch for my video. I'm going to do how to get cracked apps on 3.0 firmware. It's just a little bit different. Don't try to sync those back until you see that video. Okay, so once you've synced it and done everything you want, on Windows you'll hold the Shift key, on Mac you'd hold the Options key, but while holding that key hit Restore, and then go to where you saved your copy of the 3.0 firmware. You would hit Open. I've already done that, so I'm just going to cancel that. And also, if you're on an iPod Touch and you've already bought that firmware and you're trying to learn how to jailbreak it, still you have to download your firmware and do the whole restore process just like that. So once it's restored and you're on 3.0 firmware, you now want to go into the Red Snow. Whenever you unzip that folder or download it, you'll get a lot of folders. The only thing you really need to worry about is this redsnow.exe. That's the only thing you need. So you want to run this program. It'll say, please select the corresponding IPSW for your current firmware. So browse for it and go to where you saved it and open that up. It'll say it's processing the firmware. IPSW successfully identified. Hit next. Please select which option you would like to have. You want to install Cydia, of course. Okay, now what it's going to do is it's going to give you DFU mode instructions. So it says, please make sure your device is both off and plugged into the computer. If you hit next, here's how to get it into DFU mode. It counts down through all that. You can, if you've ever jailbroken before, you can put it into DFU mode also by holding the home and power button together for 10 seconds until you get a chime, and then release the power button and keep holding the home button for, I think it's 8 more seconds until you get a chime, and whenever you hit next from here, it'll just go straight to the jailbreak. If you don't want to do that, you can try following these instructions, but if for some reason you mess up pressing the buttons and it doesn't detect that it's in DFU mode, once your iPod goes into DFU mode, it'll automatically go to the next step and start jailbreaking. But once it detects that it's in DFU mode, if it doesn't detect it's in DFU mode and your iPod won't turn back on, holding the home and power button for around 30 seconds will usually turn your iPod back on, and you can try putting it back into DFU mode again. I'm not actually going to do the jailbreak, sorry, but it's kind of rainy here and I don't want the power to go out or something weird to happen. But just some landmarks you can look for whenever it starts the jailbreak. After a while, you'll see like a green arrow pointing to a hard drive, and it'll say downloading jailbreak data. And then if you wait a little bit, it'll come up with a picture of like a pineapple jogging with like a sweatband on, and it'll have like a little progress bar at the bottom, and it'll say things like installing bundles and installing Flash NOR or something like that. Then after that, just let your iPod boot up and you should have Cydia. And also, one more note, sometimes whenever the jailbreak starts, it'll go through all these steps, and one of the steps it'll say waiting to reboot. Sometimes your iPod might get frozen there. It won't continue on. That's happened to me a few times before. all you have to do is just wait a few minutes, and if it still doesn't continue, you can just hit exit right there, and your iPod might not turn on. It's fine still. Hit exit and rerun all the steps I just showed you. But when you get right here where it says turn your device off and plugged in, you can put it into DFU mode by, like I said, hold the home and power button together for 10 seconds. You'll get a chime if you have speakers plugged in from Windows. And when you get that chime, let go and hold the home button for around 8 more seconds until you get another chime from Windows. And that's the same thing as DFU mode. You can do that and hit next, and it'll redo the jailbreak. That usually works. You can keep doing that if it keeps getting froze at waiting to reboot. Or if it won't get past that for some reason, you can put it into DFU mode and go into iTunes and restore it. But anyways, that is how you jailbreak 3.0 firmware. You comment with any questions.